Well, here it is, Rez Rambling on a second day in a row, 2 days in a row in Oprah, the OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network just left, made them a sandwich. Man, they like that O-Pan roll, and I don't know. I mean, you know, it's like there's people here filming, and it's kind of cool, but here's the deal, right? The deal is that they're taking pictures and they're filming certain people, and you know, certain people are getting filmed, and that's really cool. I mean, I don't have no problem with that. I mean, I think that the more people get filmed, the better. I think we have a beautiful people here. My sister, Cindy, sister cousin from Arizona, she lives in Arizona, she says, well, what did you think about 2020? And I guess, you know, I have some thoughts about, you know, what actually took place, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm okay with people getting filmed. You know, it depicts a hard life. You know, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of alcohol abuse, there's, you know, like, you know, I heard a white missionary today, she said, we just need to solve these people's problems of alcohol. And it's like, you know, that right there in itself is like a very, you know, it's not a very good statement, because there are issues, underlying issues of why people are medicating or drinking themselves to death. And it's really ignorant. But there's a lot of ignorance going around. Today I told some guys, I said, you know what? I said, you know what the experts are saying? The experts are actually saying that 90% of the indigenous population of North America was wiped out. 90%. Can you believe? I mean, 90%, 9 out of 10 people were killed, were slaughtered, you know, through disease and through war, through famine. I mean, because forced famine, they killed the buffalo, they did a lot of nasty things. Yesterday I was I was talking to a Lakota artist, and he's a really cool artist, but you know how artists are a little bit different. And the professor asked me, he says, well, you know, he asked me if I read a book, and I'm like, no, I never read that book. But he talked about how this guy did a study of world religions, and then eventually he found some things that are kind of the same, like the Azalea, you know, the purification, you know, where we use smudging, we use smoke to purify us as Lakota. Well, the church does that, Catholic Church does it, but other, you know, Buddhists light candles or light incense, and you know, so there's some things that string along. Well, I told the Lakota artist, he was going to speak to some college students yesterday, and he said, so he's like, well, because I told him, you know, I'm a follower of Christ, man. I fail often, but I try to follow the teachings of Christ, and I thank God for the grace that He allows me. But you know, I was giving my spiel of why I'm a follower of Christ. Here I am, an Indian, right? I'm an Indian. You know, 9 out of 10 people were slaughtered here on this continent, and they wanted to wipe me out. They wanted to kill my people, and it's like, and here I am, you know, follower of Christ. And the thing about it is the church really played a big part in it. You know, I'm saying the church as a whole. I mean, there's a lot of Christian people that had manifest destiny, that actually thought that they were the new Jerusalem, that they were God's chosen people, so that they should take over the land, you know, wipe out the inhabitants and take it over. And this was a mentality that swept right through the church of the 19th century, 18th and 19th century. And so, you know, I tell this Indian guy, he's like, after I tell him why I'm a follower of Christ, and it's because, you know, I sought God when I was 8 years old. You know, I was reaching out for God. I wanted to know who God was. I wanted to know. And then all these, you know, these people kept coming to me and talking to me about this Jesus, you know, and how, you know, wonderful the story is. I mean, you know, the story is, it's simple. You know, it's like, I accept what Jesus did. He paid the penalty for my crime. He paid it all. And now I don't have to live under judgment. I live under grace. And it's a very beautiful, you know, it has nothing to do with Indian, white, or Mexican, or black, or Chinese, or anything. But the deal is that I no longer am held accountable for my action. Now that doesn't mean that I should go out there and kill somebody and then just say, oh, I'm going to be okay. But because that's a very simple, you know, minded thing to do. But so the Indian artist, he tells me, he says, well, what about our ancestors? And I looked at him and I said, well, yeah, you got a point. But you know what? I kind of think that all of my white ancestors are going straight to hell. I tried to hold it, but I couldn't hold it, man. I could not hold that. I had to laugh a little bit. But it kind of stopped him, because, you know, it's like, I am who I am because of my ancestors. Take one ancestor out of the equation, I cease to be who I am. And I thank God for all of my ancestors. And but they too will stand before God. And God is a just God, you know, Jehovah, you know, Yahweh, you know. And but so back to 2020 here, I got off the subject. But here's the deal, right? You know, 2020 depicts Pine Ridge. You know, it has all the struggles, you know, young people growing up trying to make their way, you know, they're very idealistic when they're 7th, 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and then they hit high school and things start to happen, their bodies start to change, and, you know, they start, you know, realizing that they're I mean, one of the greatest issues that we have in Pine Ridge is that we struggle because we lack a strong male role model. You know, they took that away. They took the purpose away. And so, like, there were a couple men in there, you know, a couple men, you know, I don't know. I mean, there was Jason Braveheart. He's a good friend of mine. I mean, other than that, I saw a teacher, and he comes into the coffee house, and then I saw Mark Tilson, but I don't think he's Lakota, you know. And it's like, they didn't, you know, it's interesting because our president, John Yolbert, still, I mean, Tom Forbear, I mean, there's many men that are in critical roles in the tribe, but, you know, everyone's going to give their own depiction of Pine Ridge, and Pine Ridge is hot right now. I mean, Oprah Winfrey Network just walked out the door. They're videoing, and let's see what else. You know, Russian television was here. I mean, everybody's filming Pine Ridge, and Pine Ridge is like, I mean, there's a lot of people here. People want to come here, and, you know, the Oglalas, you know, are really a powerful people, and, you know, they're strong. They're strong. You know, they're surviving, they're getting by. But at the end of the day, you know, this hybrid Oglala Lakota culture will have to change if we're going to move and become stronger as a people. And, you know, one of the things that here you go, Cindy. The one thing, and I'm speaking directly to you, and is when someone takes an opportunity to help those young people, and they take a hold of them and they say, okay, I'm going to help you get through school. I'm going to you know, empower you. You know, unless that happens, those children will fail. You know, they'll become pregnant, and, you know, maybe they'll become addicted to drugs. You know, but somebody has to reach in there and help them. And I think when people do that, I mean, people did that for me. I mean, they looked at me and they said, you know what, this guy has some value. You know, we need to help him out. And so they took me under their wings. I mean, I was here at the church, and people thought that I had some potential. Went to Minnesota, went to school. Other people thought I had potential there. You know, and that's really, you know, in 4 years, you're going to know, 4 or 5 years, you're going to know where those kids are, and whether or not somebody believed in them. You know, here's a young boy saying, I want to be president. You know what? Why couldn't he be president? You know, he's got to make the right moves right now. You know, he's got to make the good, right decisions right now. Study hard in school. You know, work hard to be involved and learn all the politics you can. Go and get a law degree, because that's mostly who they are. But people have to be willing to invest in other people's lives. And I think if that happens, you know, yeah, CASA got some money and Red Cloud School got some money, but I mean, maybe there was a lot of organizations that got some money, but that money's going to be disappeared in a few months, maybe a couple weeks. It'll be gone. And you know, are you investing the right way? You know, that's what I want to do. I want to invest in some people's lives and help them. So, you know what? Hey, Cindy, Dateline's coming. Dateline's going to do their show. So, you know, 2020 did theirs. Dateline's going to do theirs. Oprah's going to do, she's doing one here. And the one thing that I think that is important to understand is that tomorrow can be better. And it's what hope's about. So, but I want to thank my relatives from Phoenix, and I want to thank all the rest of the people that have had great comments. One thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, at some point, and maybe I'll do it in the next blog. So this is October 19th, 2011. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about is how we can negotiate around the idea where the church used to even kill people, kill Indians to celebrate the day of our Lord Jesus Christ. You know, that's ridiculous. And it's like I asked a priest that one time, I said, how do you negotiate around that? How do you reconcile that? I mean, you come, your forefathers, they destroyed as many native cultures as they could. They hung people, they burned them alive to celebrate the day of Jesus. How do you reconcile that? You know, that's a question that must be answered. It's a question that must be asked. You know, the priest never could answer, well, that was a long time ago. No, it still has the lasting effects. It's today. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm heading with that. So you guys have a great Wednesday. It's hump day. 2 more days. Tomorrow is pizza. Tomorrow we're doing thin crust New York style pizza with a couple wings. Have a great day.